Okay.
She told us, recorded in progress.
There we go, Chris. Technology.
Yeah. The continuation of 1977, Don.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll tell you what, Chris, it's been amazing. I'm so glad I have these diaries, It's great for me as well, because I'll tell you what, some of it is like, it's totally new to me. It's like as if it's like a brand new thing because of the amnesia, what's it. But I'm so glad I got these diaries, and it's great for me, like I said, to go back on and just, it's some of it jogs my memory. Some of the things, but some of it was like a total, right, yeah.
I wonder, I'll show it again. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a reunion.
See that?
You're back together.
Yeah, nice one. All right then, Chris. So what I've got here, I'm starting from the 16th of March,
right?
77, right?
Yeah.
So we must have finished around there with the last session then.
Yeah, you were sort of doing, you were still in rehearsals and things like that.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Slade came out, didn't it?
Oh, well, that makes sense with this, because for some reason, for a lot of the time, I'll mention about certain things like the album, but I never mentioned the title for some reason. I do now, I think, but then it was just saying, well, I'll tell you, I will go here from the 16th of March. We played the album at Trident Studios for the press. It'd be like a press call to listen to the album. And all I've got underneath was an abortion. And I don't know what happened there. I that's all I put. So it must have been somewhat serious. Either the equipment didn't work for the playback or whatever. I don't know. But
how would that work? Would you just literally put the album on, or you didn't play it live? You played...
No. What is it? We played the tape, the finish, the master tape. We played the master that would go to the factory for pressing. To go to plastic, as it was in those days. And that would be played over the big tannoy speakers at the studio, like killing everybody with volume. And for some reason, I put an abortion. So maybe either the equipment didn't work right, or something was, I don't know, maybe Jim might remember what happened there, if you question him at some point. That was the 16th of March,
right.
Chris, if you got that down, so you can ask Jim that, and then, so it'd be interesting to find out why either the equipment didn't work, or there was or maybe the press weren't interested, or whatever, or not impressed, or whatever, so it'd be interesting to find out there, Chris.
I'll ask him. I'm not being ignorant. I'm just writing things down.
Yeah, that's the 16th of March, that is, Chris.
Yeah.
But on the 17th of March, which is good, it said, spent all day recording Burning in the Heat of Love.
Yeah.
That was the 17th of March. And then I've got the next page is the 21st of March. Spent all day at the studio mixing the single. So that would have been mixing Burning in the Heat of Love, I would think, and then it's amazing this. So this is the 21st of March, spent all day at the studio. So that would be in London, right? And then the 22nd of March, spent all day rehearsing at Cannock Forum.
Yeah.
So we must have driven back home that the night, or the day later on of the 21st.
Yeah.
And and rehearsing at Cannock Forum. I didn't put what for, which is interesting.
Right.
Because normally we do that for a reason, either for the start of a tour to get things worked out, or for the studio. But that was all I've got is 22nd of March, like I said, rehearsing at Cannock. And then the 25th of March, I had photographs for the press in West Brom. And that's a weird one, so I don't know what press, whether it would be local press or, it's a weird one there. But, so what I must have done, I don't know whether I went back to London that day on the 25th or the next day, because the next day on the 26th, I went to see Bebop Deluxe at Hammersmith Odeon.
Oh.
So because I think what it was then, the reason I did that, because I vaguely remember, Chris, that Robbie Wilson used to look after my drums, Scottish roadie.
Yeah.
He went working for them for a while. Well, he was working for them for a while. So I'm assuming I wouldn't have gone to see Bebop Deluxe otherwise, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Sorry.
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
So it must have, I must have been speaking. Robin was to call me or whatever went that, sort of the 26th, so that was it. And that's all I put about it. I haven't put anything what they were like or whatever, sort of thing. And on the 28th of March, did radio promos, whether that must have been, I don't know whether that would have been over the phone before driving to Newcastle, right?
Right.
That'll explain itself in a minute. And that night, went to see Pace, Ashton, and Lord. Ian Pace, Tony Ashton, and John Lord. They're the trio with other people. I went to see Pace, Ashton, and Lord. It's funny enough, like then, but quite a few years later, I used to drink with Tony Ashton at the Richard Stills in Hammersmith. In Hampstead. I often wonder if that might be an interesting one, Chris. Find out if he's still alive.
Tony Ashton.
I mean, a great pianist. I've got a great voice as well, actually, Chris.
Right. Another thing on my list.
Sorry?
Another thing on my list.
Well, that was the 28th of March, and then the 29th of March, I've got spent all day doing radio promotion. So that must have, what would that be? It said spent all day mixing this on the 21st. So would that have been Burning in the Heat of Love?
It's got to be Burning in the Heat of Love, hasn't it?
But that's been going to be pretty quick. The sort of if we didn't. It
was released 15th of April. The actual single was.
Oh, so that probably explains it then. Probably doing radio promotion before then.
Yeah. And if you got some advanced copies.
Yeah, I think because that's unusual because we never used to do record something and release it so quick.
No.
I think the record Chaz. I'd be interested to find out what label that was on, actually, Chris.
Barn.
A Barn. So maybe that trying to explain he's trying to do some things with Chaz, that was the 29th of March doing a lot of radio promotion. The same as the 30th of March, the same again, spent all day doing radio promotion before driving to Leeds. This is me and Nob, this, by the way.
Yeah.
Before driving to Leeds to meet Asian Jim to do a TV show, whatever that was. That's all I've got, so whether it's one might have been one of the local ones, Chris, I would think.
Yeah.
Because if it was something national, I would have put it down.
Somebody will tell us.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Somebody will be nosing and find out.
Somebody will say exactly, why didn't you know it? You should know this. There's somebody out there.
They'll be there. And like I said, on the 4th of April, then that was H's birthday. Rehearsed at Manticore Studios. Now I'm assuming that would be in London.
Right.
So all this was rehearsed, and then that night went to a Glenn Campbell concert.
Blooming heck.
And I seem to remember that because he's one of my favorites. His voice, I love his, and he's an incredible guitarist. He was doing something. I do remember it. He played a lot on Elvis's early stuff.
He was a session bloke, wasn't he?
Yeah, but an incredible player. Because I remember him playing on the night, and I couldn't believe it, really. But that was the 4th of April. That was H's birthday. That's H's birthday, right? And on the 5th of April, now. That's right. Because we rehearsed at Manticore. I do remember that Manticore Studios, and then on the 5th of April, spent all day rehearsing again.
Yeah.
And
do you know what all the rehearsing was for? I know we got the tour coming up in a couple of weeks, but would you spend that much time rehearsing?
It must have been that. I mean, because we've unless it was for the some recording, but I don't, but we'll come to that in a minute. I'll explain why. 5th of April, rehearsing. 6th of April, rehearsed all day again. And then I went to Bob Henry's drum shop in Ward. Bob Henry was the drummer with Argent.
Yeah.
Right, the band. Do you remember the band Argent? Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
the drummer with them, and he opened a big drum shop in, I think it was Wardour Street,
Right.
and I went down there. I went down there. Went to Bob Emery's drum shop. That's all I put. That was the 6th of April. So whether I was just went nosing or whether I was after something, to buy something,
Yeah.
that I needed something, and then because it says 7th of April rehearsed all day again. It's unusual that we normally used to rehearse that much for a tour.
Yeah.
But I'll see what happens to them. It's all right. It's coming up, Chris. It's okay. That's 7th of April, rehearsed all day again. 8th of April, rehearsed all day again. H went back to Wolverhampton. As he would, he couldn't wait to get back. Right. Sorry. Then 12th of April, not of myself, drove to Ipswich to do radio interviews.
Yeah.
So that would have probably be for burning in the heat. I don't know, but that was the 12th of April. On the 14th of April, flew to Norway. Yeah. So that maybe that's what we've been rehearsing, Chris, for the tour.
Yeah, it was because the first gig's the 15th, isn't it? First gig.
That's right. And the 14th flew to Norway, did press, and met Julie Felix.
Oh,
so
bonus.
Right. The 15th. All I've got here, 15th of April. So show. Yeah. So
that's it. That was one at Oslo, wasn't it?
I don't know. All I've got 15th of April.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. So show. But it must have been Oslo because we flew to Norway on the 14th.
Yeah.
That'll be that one then, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when I met Julie Felix. If that's interesting enough. But and then on the 16th flew to Kristiansand. Sand, whatever it is. Yeah.
Kristiansand.
It must have been a day off then. So it must have, and on the 17th did sound check. I remember this now. Did sound check. Chaz was there. Chaz and myself had to walk around the harbour. So for some reason, I had to walk around the harbour. And then I remember this. Chaz went berserk at the promoter. The stage was not safe at all, so he blew the show. We didn't.
Yeah, so I've got it cancelled. So that was the reason.
Yeah, that must have been the reason. I do remember that because the stage was not safe, and he was going berserk. Chaz was. He couldn't believe that we were going to go ahead with it. He said that's going to cause problems. Someone's going to get seriously damaged, and that was what's great about Chaz in those days, Chris. It was great for things like that, for putting his foot down where it was needed. Yeah. And because he made us go back to the hotel. He said, when we do the sound, I remember this, he was doing the sound check and he said he couldn't believe it because I think Swin had told him, I think Chaz, I seem to remember, Chris, that Chaz was still at the hotel. Swin called him and he stormed around the gig and he made us get off the stage and go back to the hotel, and he blew the show, and it was great like that. Anything like that, he said, someone's going to get hurt. He said, if it collapses, John's going to get that right through the stage. He's really get seriously hurt, Anyway, and on the 18th of April, we flew to Oslo. Did press
Chateau Neuf.
Sorry?
Chateau Neuf, was it?
I haven't got. Well, it is here. I've got. Flew to Oslo, did press and radio, had a good show. So there we go. Good. On the 19th of April. Les Perrin, who was our publicist at the time, Les. Les. And there's a guy named David Steen. He was the ace photographer for I think it was the Daily Express or the Mail or something like that. He was a top class photographer, and so well respected. And we met him. That's strange. I met him at Copenhagen Airport. That was on the 19th.
Yeah, that's right.
Photographs. Sorry?
The next day you were gigging?
Yeah, let's have a look. Oh, wait a minute. Flew to Copenhagen Airport for photograph. Lots of fans were there. That's interesting.
Good.
Yeah, checked in the hotel. Ozzy was there. Ozzy was there, and we went to a Black Sabbath concert. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Go to the Black Sabbath show, and on the 20th of April, more photographs with David Steen. He was such a respected photographer. He was, Chris.
Yeah.
Maybe you can look him up on the internet.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it for years now, but remember, this is back in '77.
Yeah.
It's like nearly 50 years ago. So I'd be interested if he's still alive. He was a nice bloke, actually. I do remember that, nice bloke. And then that was more photographs with David. Then we met the British press at a reception at our hotel, and according to this, it was a good show, and more press at the hotel afterwards, after the show.
Good.
So that was on the 20th and the 21st. The 21st of April, we flew home. So that we must have only been there for a few days then.
You got the 21st of April. You flew home.
Yeah.
You got none of the Danish gigs.
Well, when were they, Chris?
21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Let's have a look where we are.
April.
No, that's weird. That is. We were back in England.
We'll have to check. I'll have to check.
Check it out, Chris, because that's weird. I mean, because on the for some reason on the 23rd of April, I woke up on the settee.
So
okay. Well, I'll tell you, it must have been so. Check yours, because I would think this is right what I've got.
Oh God, yeah, no problem with that.
Probably, but some of the 25th of April. Sorry.
So somebody sent me Duff information.
Okay.
Whoever they are.
On the 25th of April, Chas called me to do an interview. There was a guy named Don Short who used to be do a lot of pop stuff for the Daily Mirror.
Yeah.
It was a big guy at the time. I mean, like a top of the guy, top of the thing at the time. Don Short, I do remember him. That was Chas called me up to do it, and that was we did the interview on the 26th. And then that's right. I did the interview with Don Short on the 20th and on the 26th, right? And then went to a Twiggy reception, whatever that was. Remember Twiggy, the model?
Yeah.
Well, went to a Twiggy reception. So,
Julie Felix, Twiggy.
Hey, yeah,
Julie Felix and Twiggy.
No, I don't know what that was. I know at the time, but I don't know whether it was then. She used to be down the Richard Stills in Hampstead a lot with her boy. I think it was a husband or boyfriend at the time. She used to be in there a lot in the Richard Stills, the pub we used to go to in Hampstead. Right. And that's the 26th of April, 77. And on the 28th of April, went to the Rainbow to see the Small Faces. And to their reception afterwards.
Yeah. When you say you went to these gigs, did you go on your own or did you go with?
Well, I would have put if I was with. I wouldn't have thought me being on my own, but I haven't put. I haven't put it.
But you didn't go with Nod or Jim or Dave.
Well, I would have put that down. I would have put that. I'd have put that down. So that is strange. So I don't know. I went to Small Faces to the show and to their reception afterwards. Whether that was
interesting.
I
bet that was interesting.
Yeah, but I haven't got anything in, so I was probably drunk at the end of it, So
really,
yeah. So at the 30th of April, did an LBC radio show.
Yeah,
and LBC radio show, and before getting the train to Bristol.
I mean, heck.
Yeah, so rehearsed all afternoon.
Yeah,
it's all right. It's coming to it now. But rehearsed all afternoon, and this is when this will make sense in a minute. The 31st of April. That's when H had his bald head, right? That's,
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, well, that's coming up because H called me, obviously to my room, to go and shave the back of his head.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do it, so I had to go and shave the back of his head. And so it must have been the start. It was the start of a tour. Chris Della says did sound check, had a great first night.
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
With Dave in his bald head, was that a group decision or was it just Dave deciding?
I think what it was, it might have been. I seem to remember when I'm just going back. When we went to Norway, there was quite a bit of a few English press there, and they really slagged us off.
Yeah.
And they kept on going, Dave can't see the joy in Hill and all that kind of stuff. That was and Chaz was going mad, and he called H in the office. He says, what you should do is shave it all off. Yeah. He said that'll shut them up and shave it all off.
Because there were publicity. There were publicity photographs of Jan shaving.
That's right. Because remember, she used to be a hairdresser.
That's right.
And there's a photograph with him with his bald head, with a bald egg.
It was a fantastic image.
It's great. I think they look great, except he's got the big ears, and we always just say look like the FA Cup. but I tell you what. I do remember this. It was great because they had the risers on the side of the stage, Chris, and used to go up, and the roadies turned the light round, and there's a great photograph. I don't know where it is. His ears are just bright orange with the light shining through. As I say, it looks like the FA Cup, and they're just bright orange. His ears. It's a fantastic shot. It probably wasn't planned. It was just the way the light shone through them. Anyway.
And you young people.
And that's
I just wondered if you
great first night of calling. Good to that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I've got here, Chris. That's weird.
We'll say you up to.
That's
okay.
Say again, sorry. That's it. That's all I've got up to the 31st of April.
Right. Well, we'll carry on with the next one. Next week,
I'll carry on. What I'll do, I think we mentioned this last time, Chris. I won't do too many in one go because then it gets a bit boring.
Yeah,
but
it's the May tour then.
I'll carry on from the 31st of April.
Yeah, well, we got other things to talk about.
Let me just put it, because I'm keeping these, Chris, in case we come back to any reference at some point. Let me just put these where I know that they're safe. But it's amazing how busy we were. It'd be interesting to see, Well,
you've got the UK tour. You've got the UK tour to come up in May.
Well, that'll be in here then.
Yeah. And then
the thing is, Chris, it's great. It's interesting for me as well, though.
Well, if it helps with your memory, that's what it's all about.
Well, it does jog it. I do remember when I was I remember that one. Yeah. God.
We'll talk. We've got Bibble Brick.
Are we recording now, Chris?
Yeah. I'm just going to go through the draw and all that.
Yeah.
You're asking for an illustrator for the book.
Yeah.
And if anybody's interested, have a look on the Don Powell page and all the contact details on there. And you can illustrate the book.
It's got Lisa's contact details, Chris.
All the contact details.
And yours. Yeah, great, fantastic.
Yeah. Obviously, the gym, this T-shirt thing, all the details for getting hold of that. It's all in a good cause, kidney research and in memory of Dave Kemp. So it's all
great. Fantastic.
You can do all that. But we've also got a prize draw.
Yes.
To win a copy of a signed copy.
Yeah. I've got them already. I'll just hang on a bit. I'll get them here.
Okay.
They're up here. Yeah. I don't think you see them. I've got the signed copy.
Very good.
And I've got the envelope already addressed. I won't show it. It's your address. I don't want anybody to see it.
No, that's brilliant. And then we'll
do
it.
Signed copy of Let There Be Drums and also the album Don Powell's Occasional Flames.
Blimey.
That one. Got a copy? I can't remember now. Have you got a copy? That's your copy, right?
That's it. That's my copy.
And that's there to be signed as well.
Fantastic.
And like whoever wins, when we sort it out,
I've got the prize hats.
I'm going to send these to you, Chris, and then you forward them on. Is that okay, mate?
Yeah, we had loads and loads of entries.
Lovely.
I'll put them all in the hats. So I'll have a scoot about. One out. Have a scoot about. And the winner is Annette Jenkins. So
okay, well done.
I'll put it out, and if Annette gets in touch, we will sort it all out. But we had dozens of entries. It was really good.
What you need to do, Chris, is send me via email the correct spelling. It looks like Windsor Davis.
No, it's I go for Zulus, thousands of them. That'll do. It's my granddad's. It's my great granddad's hat.
Brilliant.
It's good in the summer.
I'll tell you what I did have. I don't know what happened to. I had my great granddad's musket.
Oh, right.
It was at Mum and Dad's in Stowlawn. You know, it used to work, but me and brother got sort of played with it a bit too much, and it
It's stuffed how many weapons were about, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened to you, to tell you the truth, Chris. I've got no interest to find out.
It's Annette Jenkins. You can't see, but it's Annette Jenkins. So we'll get all the details and we'll sort it out.
So you got the single, Occasional Flames, Just My Cup of Tea, and Don Powell Band and Friends, Let There Be Drums. And these will be signed, Annette, and then I'll get them to Chris, and Chris will get these to you. Congratulations, Gal.
Yes, well done, Gal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Right, I think we've covered everything now for that. So it should be good. The UK tour should be good. So we've uncovered some, and you've yeah. I think we'll call that one a day if that's okay.
That's good. Then I think we've covered everything. Actually, it's very interesting. It's great for me doing these diaries as well, mate. I tell you, it's great, and I love going. A good year, actually. Good year.
Well, yeah, you got all the punk stuff and everything, haven't you? And all the reaction.
So we must have come back from the States then. I wonder when we came back from the States. I thought that was 77.
Well, you did 76. Your last gigs before the revival was 76.
Okay.
So you came back and you did your bits. But when you came back, December, the Pistols were on Bill Grundy, and it was all punk stuff.
Swearing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. They say a couple of rude words. It was the end of the world, wasn't it?
It was all. Well, that was all done on purpose. Bill Grundy had egg him on to do that.
Of course he did.
Because I'll tell you what, they like to do that, especially in America. Because what they do, they sort of always have loads of booze in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And they try and get you to loosen up a bit.
Yeah.
You know, not so much in England, but maybe that was done on purpose with the punk thing, then with the pistol.
The Bill Grundy one, he just basically says, swear. And so they say, yeah, because they're all nice boys, John Lydon and all of them. They're all just nice boys.
You've got to be so careful of these people, you know, they do it on purpose.
If you look at them, they're all embarrassed by it. John Lydon, sort of Johnny Rotten, whatever. He's sort of going, but you can see he's thinking, oh, my mum, this is going to upset my family.
I mean, it worked as a PR thing, but I know in the States that they always, it's always fantastic with the hospitality, but they actually say, remember you're doing a TV show, so be careful. And when I did Where There's Life, you know, the English program that was on with Rob Buckman, and I can't remember the lady's name now, I can picture her. And I mean, Adam Hart Davis, who was the producer of that show, there's plenty of booze around. He says, please don't drink, Don. He says, he says, I know it's tempting, but it's not that kind of show, and it's 7 o'clock on a Wednesday. It's like prime time. He says, we don't want you swearing at that time of night.
No,
you know?
Not really. Right.
Sorry.
That's okay. Well, I'll say thank you, and we'll say
That's
well
great.
done
Nice
again,
one, Chris.
Jenkins.
Another good one. And we'll
Yeah.
get these CDs signed, and I'll send them off tomorrow, mate.
Excellent. Right, I'm going to stop the recording.